Are you optimistic about black shows in this climate? You're not.
Not at
you
all.
know what? You have been so bubbly. I said she's about to give us that little glimmer of hope that
now
no one else feels.
Now you got my grumpy.
Now I got your grumpy side.
No, I'm not at all. And I'm very discouraged by all these mergers that are happening, by AI, by the writer strikes, the actor strikes. We're on the verge of possibly having another double strike. Like, it has been hell for black people in Hollywood for the last, 100 years.
So we tell the stories to lift each other, give hope to push us further, and encourage one another.
On this episode of Behind the Scenes Beauty, we welcome the brilliant Robin Thede, 6-time Emmy-nominated writer, former late-night host, and creator of a Black Lady sketch show. She talks to Behind the Scenes Beauty about her latest movie role in Relationship Goals on Amazon Prime, producing Bigfoot the musical, and what she looks for in up-and-coming writers. Hello, I'm Derick Monroe, the host of Behind the Scenes Beauty, and today I have with me, she is a 6-time Emmy nominee.
Oh, wow, I am.
Yes. She is the first to have her own sketch comedy show. She was the first to do black woman to do the White House
Couple
Press.
Things. Oh yeah, as head writer for White House Correspondence.
For
head writer in late night.
All the things. We have with us the amazing Robin Thede.
Yay!
Thank you.
I'm so happy to do this.
I am overjoyed. Like I was telling you earlier, I feel like I'm on Robin Thede overdose. I watched the movie last night. I watched 5-10 interviews. I know all about Robin Thede.
I'm sorry.
Listen. No, I am excited about it though.
Okay.
So, Behind the Scenes Beauty is basically about the journey, how you got to where you got and all the things. And so I first want to just tell us a little bit. I know the whole story, you told it before, but everybody, new audience. So tell us, where you from?
I'm from Davenport, Iowa. I grew up in a trailer park, honey. The child of a black woman from the west side of Chicago and a white man who grew up on a farm in Iowa. And they met in college. My mother had a big old 70s afro. My dad said, I want you. They've been together over 50 years. They had 3 girls. And then every summer, luckily, I got to spend on the south side of my grandmother's house in Chicago. So Chicago raised me, Iowa raised me. And just my family were teachers. My parents were teachers for years and then got into politics later in life. My mom became a representative in the House in Iowa for 14 years. Like,
are you political?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very, very pro-Trump. No, I'm just kidding.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
Can you imagine?
No, I couldn't.
Girl,
but it's possible though. Nowadays.
Listen, you're right. But no. My mom was worked in the teachers unions with my dad, and then worked with the Democratic Party, helped get Obama elected his first term.
Oh wow.
And then had her own amazing 7-term career. During that time, I was going to college in Chicago at Northwestern, and then going to Second City to study sketch comedy, which I was already doing.
So comedy and acting was already in the blood.
It was
so
already.
You were going to college.
Yeah.
That was the goal.
Yeah, I started a sketch group there with a friend of mine. It was called Out the Box. Okay. It had actually been on campus like a couple years before I got there, and it got banned for being too raunchy. And I was like, I want to bring that back.
Okay.
And it's still there to this day,
wow.
like a million years later. So yeah, that really got me started in sketch. And then I went out to LA with a 1-woman show. I got scouted by Mike Epps' manager. And he was like, you're really good at writing. And at that point, I thought I was just like a performer and comedian. So I didn't really think about writing. And then I realized I had been writing since I was like 13. All the sketches I was shooting and all the characters I was doing, I always wrote them for myself. So I started writing jokes for him. Then I started writing on award shows. And then I kind of got known as the like monologue specialist and would tour with stand-ups. Write jokes for some of the most amazing comedians, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Anthony Anderson, Wayne Brady, many.
All the big ones.
All the big ones. And then...
Were you normally the only woman most of the time?
Always.
So how do you handle that? Have you become the girl that's really like, that's Robin?
Yeah, I think, it's funny, like, male comedians would always do something to kind of defeminize me in a way, not in a bad way, but they would call me Thede, right? As opposed to Robin.
Got you.
I think that helped them like, oh, you're not like a
Detach.
girl.
Right.
You're like a something, not a dude, but like, yeah, I think it helped kind of take that part away. And because I do think it's sometimes uncomfortable, not necessarily for anybody that I wrote with, but I've seen male comedians struggle with having women around,
yes.
because you're late night in the clubs or you're on the tour bus or whatever, and it can definitely change the energy. So I
Can't do all the things they normally would do, say some of the things they normally would say, maybe.
Yeah, I think they feel that way at first and then they get over it.
Right.
And then they get over it.
Right.
Because I was always cool and I wasn't trying to be in the mix like that. I was there for work and like I was cool, but like if any shenanigans were going down, I was gone.
Right.
Like, I would dip out and be back the next day for work. So
Okay, so I want to step back into your childhood a little bit because, and this was a random question that came up in my head, but like, okay, so you're the child of a black mother and a white father. And did you ever go through that whole dichotomy of like, who do I pick? Oh
No.
my God, do I have to, am I
No.
black enough? You never had
I
that.
have
And
a
especially
black
being
mother.
in Iowa though.
I have a black mother from the west side of Chicago.
So
That is
do
my
you feel
role
like that
model.
makes the difference though sometimes?
For
like
me, it
depending
did.
on which parent is the...
I think it can. I also think, I had both parents in the home, and I'm not judging either way. There are so many single mothers and fathers out here killing it. But for me, both parents were saying, like, the world will see you as black. Like, you're a black woman. Like, I don't understand when people say, like, oh, what about your white half or whatever? I'm like,
Right.
I can't walk through the world and be like, hi, my white half is here today.
Oh my God. True, you cannot do that.
I can't do that.
Right.
So I don't know what the advantage of doing that is, but it is interesting.
hilarious.
I was talking to Keke Palmer about this on her podcast, but she was saying like, you've always said you're black, you don't say biracial. And I was like, no, I don't.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I know that the new generation is kind of obsessed with that.
Right.
And they're like, no, I am embracing all of myself. And I'm
yeah.
like, okay, great. I don't know what that looks like. Like, my credit score doesn't change. So
I'm telling you. Okay, so I have a cold, so I'm trying not to laugh because I don't want to give all the hacking and stuff, but you're really making this very hard for me. Oh my God. Okay.
just breathe through
I'm
it.
trying.
You'll be okay.
I'm trying so hard. Oh my God. So at least the positive thing was at least you didn't go through that whole thing where you didn't have someone that didn't know how to do your hair.
No, my mother, no. If anything, my
is-
mother overdid my hair. She was still, because all three of the girls got very different hair.
Oh, really?
So my older sister got 4B hair.
Mm-hmm.
I got, I don't know, 3A. I don't know where I'm working with. But back then, I actually had big, crazy, like...
Curly hair.
Yes. And my mother put just for me perms in it because she was tired of using the hot comb to straighten our
Right.
hair. And it was really thick. And now it's not as thick because of years of just for me perms. I mean, no shade to just for me. It just didn't work for, it wasn't just for me.
It wasn't just for you. Okay.
Also, I'm sure I was leaving them in too long and burning my
All the
scalp. I
things,
had
all
all
the
the
things that
scabs
we
on my
did.
scalp. Oh my goodness, all the things. And all the bad hair products. But, we didn't have all the like curly girl products and
No.
stuff like that back then. So, we had pink oil
Yep.
and we had Blue Magic.
Yep.
And we had a hot comb that she put on the stove.
And pink oil was drying it out like crazy.
Listen, and then then we started doing the perms, and then I think that just kind of
Yeah.
changed
It
it
destroyed
forever.
it.
It
It
did.
did.
It
Yeah.
did. It never really came back the same way. But they say your hair changes every 7 years, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
And now we can add so many things
But you
and
look
do
so
so many
lovely
things.
today,
Well,
so
thank
that's
you.
all that matters. Okay, so now going back into your career aspect.
Yeah.
So what was the first thing that you did that felt like you said, "Oh my God, I made it"?
Oh, wow. I think you make it in different ways, right? So coming out the trailer park, I mean, when I was on that Second City stage, I was like, I made
You
it.
already had felt it like
Yeah, and I wasn't
you-
making no money.
Okay.
We made, I don't know, $50 a show or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know. But most of them I didn't get paid anything for. I was doing like late night shows and just 8-10 shows a week wherever I could perform. I was up doing improv and sketch. And I think later in my career, I had a couple of milestones. I got to work with Jamie Foxx and Affion Crockett on a sketch show on Fox called In the Flow. That was big. And then the Nightly Show, I think, is where, yeah. And then the Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore and Comedy Central, I think, is where the world started seeing me a little bit more, because we were on, 4 nights a week. But then Black Lady Sketch Show for sure was like the the biggest moment to that date. Yeah, for sure, on HBO. That was a whole nother level.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, as a Black lady, and because this is Women's History Month, the first day of Women's
Yes!
History Month, yes, I'm going to extend our Black History Month and our Women's History Month.
Oh, Black History Month all day, every day.
Black Women's History Month.
Yes,
For me.
yes!
Okay,
Oh,
see?
I love that.
See how I did that?
I love that.
Yes. So, because you are such a woman of first, how was it to do the correspondence? Like to be like a head writer in that.
I had watched Wanda Sykes kill it a couple years before, and I was head writing for Larry Wilmore in 2015, 16, whatever year that was. We did it, and it was President Obama's last one, and we just wanted to go all out, and so we just had so much fun putting that together. And I think,
did it really strike you the history-making moment that you were being a part of? Though?
Yeah, when I got there.
Yeah. Only when you got there.
Only when I got there.
Why is that?
I think you just walk into the ballroom, and we got to meet President and Mrs. Obama beforehand, and I was just like, oh, wow, this is a really big deal, And the Correspondence Center now with the following president isn't as much of a big deal, and I think he canceled it one year or something, and I think Amber Ruffin got the brunt of that ridiculousness, but back then it was a really big deal, especially as a comedy writer, to be able to work on that, and especially with those folks in office. It was so wonderful, and that night was just really special. And the crowd is tough.
Yeah,
they don't like jokes about themselves. And so I'm sitting there. I have one of the loudest laughs in Hollywood. Everyone knows this about me. Me and like Debbie Allen.
Right.
Like you can hear us a mile away.
right.
But I, at first, the audience was kind of like, oh, we don't like jokes about ourselves. So I took it upon myself to laugh even louder than normal.
To make sure that you feel it in the space.
But also just to be like, you guys got to lighten up.
Right.
And I think it worked, because by the end of it, they were really they were really into it. But that's normal. I remember Stephen Colbert and some other folks, Seth Meyers, saying that the audience is tough. But it's fun to win over an audience that's notoriously tough. So, yeah, I felt really proud of that. It was just really fun.
So out of your two crafts that are so, forefronting, like your acting and the writing.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point, because you sought out acting first, right?
Yeah.
So was there ever this point of disappointment that you were like, this acting thing is
oh my gosh.
Is not.
Yes.
What was that whole process?
So in all of my 20s, really, when I was trying to break through as an actor and comedian, I was not having a lot of luck. I wrote for 10 years on like award shows and, like I said, traveling with stand-ups and doing all this stuff, which was great. And they would put me in things. I was also a stand-in on a sitcom called All of Us on UPN, which was so much fun. And I did that for 2 years. I got lines, and then I would get some momentum, and then I would book.
So explain to people what a stand-in is.
Oh, sorry.
Actually.
So a stand-in is somebody who literally stands in the lighting for actors while the crew is getting everything together, and then the actor comes in, and then you show them where their blocking is and where they're supposed to, like, blocking is moving around set, where they're supposed to stand to be in their light, all that stuff. But I got to learn so much that way as a 22-year-old, about TV and how it works, and they really took me under their wing, and I got to work under Debbie Allen and Stan Lathan, and with that incredible cast. I mean, Dwayne Martin, Lisa Ray, Elise Neal, Patti LaBelle came on. I got to meet her. Like, it was just amazing. It was actually how I started meeting a lot of the celebrities that I would later write for and cast on Black Lady Sketch Show, which was interesting.
Crazy.
That's where
most
I first.
of them remembered you from that whole moment.
They did, and they were so sweet. Taraji Henson. I met Beyonce. I met so many people came through there, or award shows, or other things I was doing over the next decade that I had no idea how it was setting me up for what I was going to do 10, 15 years later. But there was frustration there because I just couldn't break through. I would book pilots, and those are the TV shows that we shoot that never air, but it's just to see if the network wants to pay for it to become a series. And I did so many pilots that never saw the light of day. And you have to sign the contract that says how much you're going to make every week.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm
and
rich.
Excited.
Right.
And you
then,
already spending the money.
Well, I never did that, thank God. Remember, I came from the trailer park, so I knew not to spend I knew not to spend it. But in my head, I spent it for sure.
Right. You was like, I know what I'm gonna do when this.
Yeah. And so that happened for like over a decade, and it was frustrating. But thank God the writing really sustained me between auditions and pilots that didn't go, or little guest stars here and there. And then people like David Alan Grier put me on Chocolate News, his show on Comedy Central, and I remember I had $7 to my name. And he, in 2009, it was after that recession, or in the middle of that recession, 2008, 2009. And there had been a strike that year, and like, the show came back after the writer's strike, and he literally saved me from being evicted.
Right.
Like, so I have so many people to thank over the years who kept me going, either acting wise or writing wise.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, because I work closely with Whoopi at the show, at The View, and so I see that even though with all of her accolades, and I say this in a lot of my interviews that I talk to actors and people in your position.
You know how much I love her.
Actually, okay, I'm not gonna cry, but you were the first woman that showed me that black women can play characters and be funny. It's so annoying. Okay, I talk about this all the time. I hope you don't think I'm a stalker because I talk about you constantly in interviews. But when I saw your Broadway show on television, and you put that shirt on your head.
Yeah.
And when you came out of Fontaine.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just, I mean, listen, this character, but she talked about identity, and she talked about, you know, I want to be white because, you know, that's what it's supposed to be. But then she came back to love herself, and it was funny and it was real, and I just had never seen that.
Yeah.
I had never seen that. So thank you. I've been waiting my whole life. Do this. I was prepared. You put it right out.
I love it.
I really thought I was practicing what I was going to say to you in the back. I was like, I'm not going to cry. I kept crying. But seriously, thank you for showing me.
You're making more women cry than Barbara Walters.
I know.
Let me say this to you. Kids now have you.
Yeah.
And that is not just a small thing, that's a huge thing, because you have invited an entire room full of black women to write comedy.
Yeah.
This is unheard of.
Yeah.
There are not rooms full of white women writing comedy.
Right.
So this is a huge thing, and that's what you did. So thank you.
Yes, I do. And I know that no matter how many accolades you get, the nominations and all that, sometimes the disrespect is still there. Do you feel like you've encountered that a lot?
In different ways, sure. You know, yeah, it's interesting. You'll show up some places and they're like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm such a big fan. And you'll show up other places and they're like, do you work here?
Right.
And that's all fine, right? I think Will Smith told a great story about how he was on a golf course. And this man came up to him and he said, oh, I would love for you to take a picture. Would you mind taking a picture? And he said, you know, I'm golfing right now, but sure.
Right.
And the man handed him his camera to take a picture of him and his wife. He had no idea who he was.
Oh, wow.
And this is after Independence Day and Men in Black and all this stuff. And he said, what a great reminder that you're never too big for your britches. You know, you never, you can't think that your stuff don't stink, you know, or whatever. I'm trying to think of a phrase that make sense to the whole audience. That's all black
No,
phrases.
listen, they know all of them.
Okay.
They know 'em.
But yeah, so I think for me, and I'm obviously nowhere near where Will Smith is, but well, you know, but I'm my own. I'm in my own class.
You are.
But yeah, so I always I don't believe in staying humble because
Right.
I think humble is like, you know, put yourself down kind of a
Right.
little bit. I believe in being confident and all of that. And I walk in a room with my head held high, you
Right.
know, and that I belong there. But I also never assume that I deserve anything more than anyone else.
Gotcha.
And I'm always going to work really, really hard.
Right.
So I think that's where. But yeah, the disrespect, listen, they be disrespecting our girl. I can't stand it. We'll be like, do people not remember her one-woman show, The Color Purple, Ghost, Sister Act 2, like, I mean, Jumper Jack Flash, like.
They do, but I think what happens is people want to make sure that you stay in your place.
Yeah.
It's not I'm not aware of who you are. It's just I'm not going to allow you to arise past what you think you are. You know what I'm saying? They know you know, but they don't want you to be so confident.
Yeah.
So
it's more intentional than I'm giving people credit for.
Yes. It's definitely.
Well, she will always be on an ascended throne for me.
Yes.
But yeah, it is interesting. I think if I do encounter that, I use humor to diffuse it.
Right. So you could you possibly be one of those people that you so focused and so confident that you don't even notice it anyway?
Yes, because people have pointed it out.
Right.
They were like, they were shading you. And I was
you
like,
was like,
oh,
for
well, I looked good, so I
Right.
don't know. Yeah, I think.
See, I told you.
Poor baby.
I know.
Yeah, I think also I'm very nice,
Right.
but I will call somebody out.
Right.
Like, and I have red carpets, people asking you crazy stuff.
Right.
Or talking to you crazy.
Right.
Yeah, because sometimes that does happen.
Yeah.
And you gotta let people know.
Gotcha.
But you know, I think about Kelly Rowland on the Cannes red carpet where she had to tell that lady,
Look, okay.
you know,
Calm
and it was
down.
just the one finger.
Okay.
But the lady was acting crazy
Yeah.
and pushing her around and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, I look at her and I'm like, geez, I think about when Oprah couldn't get into that store. Remember Oprah couldn't get into the store?
She couldn't get in her mess.
And they tried to act like they didn't know her. Come on.
You know, if nobody else you know Oprah.
You know Oprah. So yeah, I think about all those stories and how that stuff has happened to so many people. And you're right, it is intentional. And that's so nasty.
It is.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But I know Larry Wilmore has been huge in your success, like giving you the opportunity and stuff. You talked about Kevin Hart and Jamie Foxx and all of them.
Yeah.
What were some of the women that sort of have helped shape
so
and,
many.
And
So many. Wanda Sykes has been an early, like I was literally nothing and no one, and to the world, to me, I was.
right.
But
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
You have to be. You have to be. If
True.
you're not everything to yourself, I don't know where we're going from
That's
there.
true.
But she was always so supportive. We talked about Sherry Shepherd, who's always been lovely. Regina King, Regina Hall, Queen Latifah.
Right.
Dana is my heart. Like she has been. I wrote for her on a few things, and then she brought me on as her head writer on her daytime talk show for that first season. And then I went to Larry's show, and she was graceful enough to let me go. And she said, I would never stop you from rising. I know you want to be in late night, and you know that was my dream. And so she's still just such a dear friend to this day. Like she's just the best.
Yeah.
She's the best. So many black women though. Jackie, who I was doing impressions of back in the day.
That's one of my most favorite when you do her on Black Lady Sketch Show.
I was so excited I got to do her because we were doing live episodes of 227
it was perfect.
at Second City, and then I wanted to bring it to the show when we got the show, and her and Marla Gibbs came. It just blew me away.
Do you have a favorite sketch that you got to do on Black Lady
The
Sketch Show?
227 was
The 227
definitely
was
one of
definitely
them,
it.
but Black Lady Courtroom is always like, it's just such
my
a
God.
classic.
I was going to ask. So
Yeah.
Black Lady Courtroom, did that derive from you entering into a Black lady writer's room?
So
Did you look around and
yeah,
everybody's black?
I think so. So I cannot take credit for the original idea. That was Ashley Nicole Black, who is an amazing writer, Emmy Award winner, amazing performer. She, I think it was one of her first Well, the Patti LaBelle sketch was her first pitch. I remember that. But Black Lady Courtroom was her idea. And yeah, I'm sure it was because the first day we were sitting in there with all these black women around a table, we were like, oh, we don't have to explain our references?
Right.
Oh, we don't have to apologize for being here? This is wild.
It's so many little things that people probably don't even understand the ease of being able to
blew
not
our
have to
mind.
explain yourself.
Woo! It blew our minds.
Yeah.
If you want to take your braids out while we're pitching, do it. I don't care.
There you go. You started it now. You started it.
No, but like it was so great. You know, I remember, I mean, Ashley tells this story all the time, but her first pitch was about Patti LaBelle. And she said, so, you know, there's a singer named Patti LaBelle. I said, let me stop you. You don't have to explain. She goes, oh, right. And, you know, on the show, too, we never did anything about white people.
Right.
Like, it was always about the black
experience.
And because my thing was, I don't want to make a show about black women to make fun of white people. That was not my interest. You know, I wanted everybody to watch the show, but I wanted them to see something that was uniquely our perspective. And I didn't want to re-traumatize us with having like a Karen sketch or whatever. A lot of people don't even realize there was never a white person on a Black Lady sketch show.
Oh, wow.
Never, not once.
Wow.
Not even in the background.
Wow.
People don't realize that.
I don't think I realized that.
Not in a picture, not in a person, never.
Okay, so I also want to know pitching. You're pitching Black Lady Sketch Show.
Yeah.
What was that experience?
That was lightning in a bottle. I had pitched it to another network first. I was still doing my late night show, The Rundown on BET. And I had pitched it to another network, and they just wanted to honestly not give us enough money. I wanted to make a really cinematic, beautiful show, but I knew I could still do it for a cost that was efficient and effective for a sketch type show, because sketch shows are made on a dime. Like, they don't want to pay anything for them. But what they were offering was just too low. I was like, it's going to look like crap. I'm not going to do it. And so after the rundown was over, Issa Rae, not sure if you've heard of her.
I don't think I have.
Little known star. She's up and coming.
Okay.
Yeah, very cute girl.
Gotcha.
She's slightly talented.
Just slightly.
She said, what's going on with that sketch show? And I said, you know, because we talk all the time. And I was like, you know, I just don't think we're getting enough money for it. And so she said, well, now that the rundown is over, let's do it together and bring it to HBO. They already love you. Because I had met with HBO and Amy Gravitt, and we were just trying to find something together. And Issa was already in a deal over there. So we went to dinner with Amy Gravitt, and Denzel Washington was actually the only other person in the restaurant.
Are you serious?
This is only God. So he's the only other person. He's sitting with one other gentleman across from us, and there's literally no one else in the restaurant. And at the end of the dinner, they're like, the gentleman picked up the check, and we look over and he's gone. And I was like, was he even ever there?
Right.
But
so he paid the check?
He paid the check, and they bought the show. It had nothing to do with Denzel, but or did it?
Did it? They might have said he just put his seal of approval.
I know, and they bought it at the dinner, and I just had a pitch, and I knew who I wanted to cast. I knew who I wanted to write on it.
How did you know Quinta?
Because I was obsessed with her. And same with Amber Ruffin wrote on the first season. I knew Ashley Nicole Black from Sam B. That late night show she was on. Gabrielle Dennis and I have been doing sketch stuff together for years.
You know, I've worked with Gabrielle for a long time. She's been on this show.
She's amazing and does not get enough credit. People be like, oh, that's Janae. And I'm like, no. Y'all better recognize this woman's talent. The singer, the dancer, the actress. Anyway, she deserves to be much more of a household name. But Quinta, I knew just from the comedy circuit. I had seen her stand up. Obviously, I'd seen her on BuzzFeed. And I was like, she's the next thing. Mm-hmm. All of these women, I was like, these are the women I want to do this show with. And it just became such a family. I just literally texted all of them and said, come on, let's go. And Ashley moved from New York to LA to come do it. And you know, she's from LA, but she had been in late night in New York. And so I just had the trust of all of these women, and my head writer moved from New York, Lauren Ashley Smith, who's incredible, who's now on Sirius XM on with Radio Andy and has her own show, The Smith Sisters, and is an amazing writer. I just got lucky to work with all of these women who were already at the top of their game. The industry just needed to recognize it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so going in with your late night show, What was the expectation, and was it a disappointment when it ended?
Yeah, I think it's always a disappointment when things end, but sometimes you see it coming, sometimes you don't.
Right.
Like the nightly show, we just came to work and
Right.
then we were done. Like that was crazy. With the rundown, I kind of was on the fence. They were very communicative with me. I'm still friends with everybody over at BT, and honestly, they were in a really tough position. Streaming was coming in. They hadn't built their streaming model yet, and they were very solely ad dependent. Only revenue was coming from commercials. So if we didn't do daily show numbers, it just couldn't sustain the cost of the show.
Gotcha.
So so I think for us, it was just a numbers game. And they were very transparent about it. There was no like, people were like, oh, forget BET. And I'm like, honestly, it's just the industry.
Right,
I
right.
wasn't, it was just kind of like, okay, well, let us know so we can go do the next thing,
Right.
you know? And Connie Orlando and Scott Mills, everybody over there was lovely.
Right.
So I don't have anything bad to say about that. And then, and I think when we started though, you know, we knew we had an uphill battle. Like BET is not known for late night. You know, they had done one other show, I think, with TJ Holmes. And, but the great thing was we were still doing almost 1 million viewers every Thursday night on BET, which was a massive number.
Yeah.
And the show looked great. The show was great. You know, we won awards. We got great critical reviews. So I'm really proud of that year that we made. We made these mini documentaries. We made music videos with new artists that people didn't know, like Duckworth and LaKaylee 47 and all these like amazing Rhapsody, like all these artists gave a spotlight to. And so I'm really proud of it. I think, you know, we had amazing writers, Z-Way, Alex English, Janelle James from Abbott Elementary, like all wrote on the show. Like,
I did not know that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's fun.
hello, Io Idaburi was our writer's assistant.
Are you serious?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It was like a magic culmination of all of these people who were about to break out like crazy on that show.
It's funny. So you could really be tapped as the person that sort of sees talent. Because if you think about it, everybody that sort of spawned off you,
they're huge.
they're huge.
And yeah, and
So you got anything
I
to
do-
put me in or anything you need me to do?
I see big things for you.
Okay, listen, I need you to see something. So
I see very big things for you.
Listen, so you can. Next
You're
thing I
already
know-
huge, but
Yeah,
you know,
I'm
to
already-
those that know, you're already, please,
Well,
the top.
Let's pray.
But,
Let's pray.
But yeah, no, I could definitely.
Yeah.
We need to see more of you.
Yeah, well,
for sure.
Thank you.
For sure.
I wasn't saying it for that, but I was saying it though. You have an eye for talent.
Yeah,
You-
I do. I definitely do. But you know what I have? I have an eye for talent, but I also have access to make things happen.
Gotcha.
Because by God or by pure hard work and will, both, I'm somebody who doesn't take no for an answer. And not in like a bitchy way, just in a like, I can see a problem and figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
So I knew Black women had never had a sketch show like that before. And I was like, Sketch is having a bit of a moment. Drunk History was still on. Key and Peele was ending. Amy Schumer had won an Emmy. Like, Sketch was having a bit of a moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, this could really reinvigorate where we're at because these other shows are ending. We're coming in. It was like perfect timing.
You didn't get any pushback because it was Black Lady sketch
Never.
show? Never. That's so great.
We had a Black exec at HBO our first season. So, and Amy Gravitt, who isn't Black, but like is very much an ally, head of comedy over there forever, has been such a champion and such a fan, and she is responsible for getting Insecure on the air and all these other amazing shows. So no, I think we had the right champions at the right time. And Issa was an EP, and everybody always just wanted to make it the best version of what I had pitched.
What makes a good writer? Like when you're looking for people to be a part of your productions and stuff, what is it? What are like 3 things that you're looking for?
I like grumpy writers.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I just think they're so funny. I love an Eeyore type person.
Because a complainer.
Yeah, kind
Slight-
of a slight complainer, but somebody, because they can always see the world in such a dry, funny way.
True.
My comedy is very big and very loud and very joyful. So I think, okay, you're already going to get that. I don't need too much more of that in the room.
Gotcha.
I'll take another 1 or 2 of those.
Right.
But I love a surly writer who comes in and is like, this is the worst day ever, because I know they're going to give me good stuff. I know they're going to give me great jokes. And the jokes, it's like, the jokes might not even be, because I don't like comedy that like punches down or makes fun of people, but they can just see things. Their view is twisted in a way that gives you such a funny take on things. And then I like writers also, I do like the joyful ones too, but I think you need a bit of trauma to really see things in the funniest way. So I don't mind that. If people come to me and they're like, I grew up in a horrible situation and I was, you know,
you're
whatever.
Perfect.
I'm like, you're hired. Also, it's I'm a bit of a sadist in this way.
Okay.
If someone's having a bad day, I will do anything to make them have a good moment. One of our writers said one time in an interview that you can't have a bad day around me. Like, you're not allowed. And I don't know if she meant that as a compliment.
I'm sure. Had to be.
She kind of did, but she was like, you just can't, even if you want to be in a bad mood, it's not going to happen. And I'm like, oh, thank you. But it is true. We're so lucky to get to do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I like grumpy. I like smart. Okay. You really, I need everyone to be working at the top of their intelligence. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be a genius, but whatever the top of your intelligence is, that's what I always tell writers. What is the top of your intelligence? Is that the punchline that's from the top of your intelligence? Is that from the ceiling in your brain? Right. And then if you ask them that question, 9 times out of 10, they'll go, nah, that was my first thought. Let me go back to the drawing board. Right. And they'll come back with a genius joke. Okay. And then I like writers who are underestimated. I always tell my staffs, you were passed over on the last interview before this one. You were underestimated at your last job before this one. Mm-hmm. And none of that is going to happen now. And I expect your best. And that can be scary. Right. But because you're like, oh, crap, I got to give my best every day. Right. But look at the results. Yeah. You know, so many of us are like, wow, a Black Lady sketch show is like the best thing we'll ever do. Right. Like, even if we do go on to do great things, it's just that time capsule was so special. It's everything I wanted high school to be, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, high school for me was a bit dicey. I mean, it was fine, right. but you know, it was awkward and whatever. Yeah. It's like, can you imagine just being with all your friends. And just, and I didn't know everyone before I hired them, but we really built this family that just, we learned so much together. We learned so much about making TV, about what it takes to make a successful show. Mm-hmm. I remember our first round of notes. Whoo, baby. We thought we would have cat's me out. We thought we had made the funniest sketch show ever.
He was like, they ain't going to even ask us to fix nothing.
Correct.
It's perfect.
I had never seen so many notes in my life. They said, this feels like a first draft. Maybe go back to the drawing board. I said, oh, my Jesus.
Was that a blow to your ego as a writer that had been in the business for a long time?
I was like, what are you talking about? I am the premier sketch writer. Do you know who I am? Like, in my mind, right?
Right.
And then I took a day with those notes, and then I went back and read the script with fresh eyes, and I said, they're right. We can do better. Right. And we had been up all night till like 3 a.m. making revisions before we sent it in. But that is the HBO magic and the Issa magic. It pushed us to a level. That's what I'm saying. We had to work at the top of our intelligence. Like, it pushed us to a level where we were like, yeah, we're stepping into huge shoes. Robert Townsend was the only other Black person to ever make a sketch show on HBO like that. Yeah.
The Saga of a Barbecue Rib Empire. Starring Robert Townsend as Lake Arrington, barbecue rib and chicken tycoon. Starring Anne Marie Johnson as his unfaithful wife, Chandelier Arrington. Starring Keenan Ivory Wayans as the gigolo Alderman Dexter Mitchell. Starring Carl Allen Craig as the tough vegetarian fast food king, J.W. Brooks. And starring Stephanie E. Williams as Lake Arrington's mistress, Candy Jones. The bold, the black, the beautiful.
You've gone too far this time, Lake.
Mr. Acton, I'm
It's okay, Marsh, I can handle it. J.W. Brooks, vegetarian fast food entrepreneur.
Lake Arrington, Rib King, Prince of Swine. I know you're behind this. You planted this, didn't you? Where did you get your information?
Your wife.
don't you?
And yeah, it was just. And then later I got to work with his daughter, with Sky Townsend, on the show, who came on in season 2.
Oh my
and
God,
it's
that
just
is his daughter.
That's his daughter.
I forgot that.
She's everything.
She is.
All the women that came through were amazing. Amazing. So yeah, I think those are the things I like from a writer.
Oh my
Because that's what I expect from myself too.
Right.
You know?
Okay. So you're doing Black Lady Sketch Show, and then now you're acting, and you did the movie with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Candy Cane Lane.
You did Candy Cane Lane.
Yep.
And then you are now in this
Relationship
movie on Amazon
Goals.
Relationship Goals. Thank you for helping me out.
Oh,
You
sorry.
know,
Oh, I don't know. I was just excited to say it. I
Listen,
figured you knew.
So I watched the movie last night.
You did?
I did.
It's cute.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
What I wanted to know is, because you're more of a comedic actor.
Yeah. The
how
drama.
How was it for you to cry?
I know.
Could you cry on cue?
I can cry on cue.
Really?
So I started learning theater as a child.
Okay.
And so I was trained in Stanislavski and Adler and all the things. Like I've gone through all those classes as an adult and as a kid. And so I traveled with the theater company when I was younger. And so that was all in there. And I think that it takes all that to be a good comedian.
I always wanted to ask.
I need to just get my nose real quick.
Yes,
I'm
go ahead.
dying over here.
No, go ahead.
Feel free to keep this in.
Listen, you said show all of it.
Listen, my nose runs like every normal person.
It does.
Okay, go ahead. Say it again. Sorry.
Okay, so I want to know. I always want to ask an actor this the
Yes.
whole crying process.
Yes.
So how do you? Because I have a thing that I teach.
Oh,
Yes.
tell me.
So I teach a lip quiver.
I love a lip quiver. Baby! Kerry Washington is the queen.
She is, but
She has
I have a
mastered
class called the Derick Monroe lip quiver. And
Stop. I hate you so much.
so, but tell me, so what does an actor have to do to get into crying? Like,
I have a lot of trauma.
Really?
Right under the surface. No, for me, in particular, look, I've been in a lot of relationships. I've been in that situation where I've had to say this is over because this ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And, you know, some actors don't like to use personal experience, but I had it to use.
Yeah.
And I was actually in a relationship, a happy relationship at the time, but I had plenty, at the time I was shooting it, but I had plenty of sad stuff to pull from, you know? I think as a comedian, we push things down and then they come out in jokes. But I think when we have, I don't know, I don't want to say unresolved trauma, because I've definitely done years of therapy, but I think it's easier for me to access sad moments.
residual trauma.
Yeah.
Like even though you've dealt with it, it's still
it's
a
still
tender,
sad.
It's a tender spot.
Yeah. So I think about the moment where whatever that thing was broke for me.
Yeah.
And the writing, I thought, was pretty straightforward, and they let me adjust it
Gotcha.
to feel like more like what I would want the character to say. But no, even when I was shooting the reverse shots for my scene partner, Devon Nixon, I was crying off camera. And our producer was like, "Are you crying off camera?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You don't have to do that." I was like, "Well, I just want him to feel like the scene is the same."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. Okay.
I'm a very giving actor.
Yes, you are a writer and a giving actor. You're just giving. So question 2. What did you take away from that project? Like, you know, different actors work on different projects, and there's these learning processes that they take away from that particular project. What did you take away from relationship goals?
You know, I think that your friendships are the first relationship in your life, and that's most important. I think the 3 friends that played by me and Kelly Rowland and Annie Gonzalez, I think that the 3 of us have a really strong message of friendship in the movie that crosses over into real life. We're actually friends.
Right.
Like Kelly and I already knew each other, but we didn't know Annie, and she's just a ball of light. But I do think that for me, I've had mostly the same friends for the past few decades. And, you know, it's just so lovely to have that history with your friends and have people to go to who really have your back with no other, you know, ulterior motives. And then in terms of romance, I think that we have to stop looking for what other people want in us and really give ourselves what we need. And then whoever's meant for us will come.
Yeah,
you
there
know?
are additions.
Yeah, I think, my character in Relationship Goals was looking for her 4-year boyfriend to marry her.
Yeah.
And the movie's out, so spoiler alert.
Right.
She got what she wanted.
Right.
But I don't have those same goals.
Right.
I don't, I'm very whoopee about it. I don't
Right.
want nobody in my house.
I was going to say, do you want to be married and all that stuff?
Never really, no.
Really? Me
And I
neither,
never
to be
wanted
honest.
kids. Yeah, you didn't really?
I don't
Yeah,
want
I
none
just
of
never
it.
really wanted that. I don't mind partnership.
Yeah.
But
Somebody to hang out with.
yeah.
But
And I don't mind somebody loving me and me loving someone, but I'll be quick to go. Like, I have a great life.
Yeah.
And I think, that's what I love about this new generation. Like, they're not stressed about any of that stuff. Yeah, like they inspire me.
Yeah.
Like, like I saw an article the other day that was like, the Gen Z is about to be 30, by the way, next year. The oldest Gen Zers are about to be 30,
That's
which is
crazy.
crazy. So Gen Alpha is coming into adulthood soon. But Gen Zers are saying, we don't go on dates. We go out as groups and then eventually get engaged. I was like, what? You don't do single dates? And they're
Right.
like, rarely.
that's crazy.
I think that's so interesting.
Would you do you interesting in a way that you sort of like it, or you?
I don't know.
Don't know if
That's
it'll
not the
work.
way I know how to date. I don't
Right.
know. No, I need some alone time with somebody to get to see
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
really going on in there. But I think they're also just broke. You know,
That's-
like they just struggle.
They don't even have. They don't have.
They don't have the funds.
They
honey.
don't-
They got to all pitch in. I don't know how I feel so bad for them. They're like, we're never gonna own a house.
I feel bad for them as well.
Yeah.
And socially, they don't even know how to connect. So that could be a whole reason too.
They don't.
You sort of need the other people around to
I
be
think
your crutch.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you are also on the producing side.
Yes.
Of an off-Broadway show called
Bigfoot the Musical.
Bigfoot the Musical. So you already had a long-standing relationship with Amber.
Yes.
Working together as
Yes.
writers. So what made you decide to jump on as a producer?
Amber Ruffin called me and said, I knew about Bigfoot already because she'd been taking it around to different festivals, and she did a live reading of it at 54 Below here in New York, maybe a year and a half ago. Yeah. And it had already...
I know she said she had been working on it for like 10 years.
Oh, she has.
Yeah.
She has. And I knew that it had gone to Scotland and to various festivals, LA, Chicago, New York. And then I saw it live at the Cabaret Space. And then I was like, well, let me know when you're taking it to Broadway because this is fantastic. It's a story about an outsider, Bigfoot, who has a black mama, of course, because
That is hilarious.
it's so silly. But the town is run by a corrupt leader who's trying to steal money from everybody who's broke, just trying to survive, and they're being poisoned by the water from runoff from a chemical factory. It's
my
like
gosh.
it all feels, different iterations of it. The 10 years she's been working on it. First, it could have been about black people, then gay people, then trans people. Like everyone who's ever felt like an outsider who's under the thumb of somebody who's stealing money and, running a city, country for their own good.
Yeah.
And not for the good of the people, will be able to relate to the show.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So anyway, once she got the deal to take it off Broadway, I immediately was like, yeah, I'll
Why
be a
didn't
producer.
you jump in and be a part of it? What do
Baby
you have
Don't
Broadway
Sing.
Oh, it's complete musical.
It is a complete musical.
Oh.
I wish. I sing for comedy, but yeah, I do not sing. Also, their cast is like all Tony nominated or winning.
Right.
Like there's only a few people in the cast. I think it's like 8 people in the
Bring
cast.
your Emmys. That's one thing we have in common. We have the same
You're not
amount of
wrong.
Emmy nominations.
Yeah.
I
Oh!
have 6. No win, but I have no win.
Well, you'll
but
get it.
6
You'll get it.
nominations.
You'll get it.
Yeah.
We and I'm lucky too because our show had 16 nominations and 4 wins. So I feel like I can share in those
Right, right,
wins.
right.
But yes, personally, Mama 6.
Well, our show
nominee-
wins too,
nominations,
but
yeah.
you want one that
I
has
know.
your name on it.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
It's
We'll
coming.
both get our trophies soon
It's
enough.
coming. It's coming.
But yeah, I think it was fun. I do want to do Broadway though as a performer, and I have gotten really close on some things. But yeah, the singing would have, because you got to sing to
Right,
be
that's true.
in Bigfoot. They sang it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I could comedy sing, then yes.
Gotcha.
I can carry a little bit, but not what they're doing. They are singing down.
Okay, because I was getting ready to say, like, I saw Bob the drag queen in
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And he definitely comedy singing.
Yes.
Yeah, I
yes.
mean, he's
yes.
definitely not like singing. I mean, no shade to
No,
Bob
no,
the
he
Drag
knows
Queen.
that. He
Right,
knows that.
exactly. But you know, he is no.
And Monet would tell him the same
Yeah,
thing.
that's right. He's no Luther Vandross. But
But he does his thing. I love Bob. Oh my God.
yes.
That's-
Oh my God. Okay, so what else are you working on? What is it that we don't know?
Right. So I have some TV stuff in the works, stuff that I'm writing and producing. And also, you know, I really want to do, as an actor and writer, but I really want to do a multicam. I want to do an old school sitcom, like Living Single. I'm obsessed with Yvette Lee Bowser. I've been stalking her for years, proud to call her a friend who created Living Single. Like, I miss those.
With the old school studio audience.
With the old school studio audience.
I think like Miss Pat Show and Jordan Cooper
Yep.
are like one of the few.
They're
that
the
are
only,
like-
and then the Upshaws
Yeah.
kind of.
Oh, yeah, the Upshaws, too.
Had, you know, they had some pre-taped, some live audience stuff, but there's very few. But Rel had a chance to do one.
Yes.
And I think this new audience is a little like, they don't really know what they are anymore. But I'm a Golden Girls 227, Cosby, you know, like all Living Single, different world. Like, that raised me. I think there's a new way to do them. And some shows have had success with it. But I mean, the Upshaws have what, like 5 seasons?
Yeah.
And Miss Pat's been on forever. They
Yes.
got nominated for an Emmy
Yep.
for directing. And so, yeah, I think there's some kind of fun way to tweak it. Like in
Gotcha.
the way that I can do it.
Are you
that-
optimistic
yeah.
about black shows in
No.
this climate? You're not.
Not at
you know
all.
what? You have been so bubbly. I said she's about to give us that little glimmer of hope that
Now
no one
you got
else
my
feels.
grumpy.
Now I got your grumpy
No.
side.
No, I'm not at all. And I'm very discouraged by all these mergers that are happening, by AI, by the writer strikes, the actor strikes. We're on the verge of possibly having another double strike. Like, it has been hell
Yeah.
for black people in Hollywood for the last, well, I don't 100 years.
Forever.
But forever. But it did feel like for a minute
In
there.
the 90s.
Well, but even mid 2000s. Listen, we had Blackish, we had
Oh, true.
well, Girlfriends was a little earlier in the game and that kind of stuff. But yes, the 90s, but also we were coming back with Scandal, Grey's, How to Get Away with Murder, you know, all that kind of stuff. Blackish. Did I say Blackish?
You did, but you know, Insecure.
Insecure.
Yes.
Then Black Lady Sketch Show, and
Yes.
then you know. But after the pandemic and then the double strike, it's just been one blow after another. And the interesting thing is, though, while I'm not super optimistic about the industry, I am always optimistic about our ability to be the lotus growing in the mud. You know, you watch what's happening with Sinners and with you know, all of these amazing black creatives that still persist. You know.
Well, I'll offer
and
you
create,
some
yeah.
encouraging.
Please.
Because I feel like when everything gets mulled over,
Yeah.
they always
Come back
use
to
us.
us. Oh, always.
Because
Always.
we always are the one that draws. You know, that's
That's
how
right.
a lot of those networks built
Yeah.
off of the blacks. You
Absolutely.
know, UPN, Fox.
Yep.
They come back and they need our shows. They need our entertainment to draw audiences. So
Yeah, they do.
be encouraged.
They do. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. You know what I think it is? It's like once I started developing shows, you know, pitching, I would think after the writer's strike, we pitched 35 shows and sold maybe 2, and then they both died, you know? And it's like, that happens.
Yeah.
But that volume,
Yeah.
in all of my career, even before the big streaming boom, I was still selling more than that, you
Yeah.
know? And like, it's really hard to get something to air.
Yeah.
But if I can get a writer paid, if I can get actors paid, you know, my thing is like, even if people don't see it, I'm trying to have people make a living.
Right.
And that really matters to me. Crew.
Yeah.
I fight really hard to get black people in every aspect of crew, sound departments, camera departments, like all the stuff people at home don't see is a big part of what I do as a producer as well. And so even with Broadway, right, it's really important for me that even if I'm the only black woman on the team, like I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna represent, because I can't have us shut out of rooms anymore.
Yeah.
It's 2026. Like, we need a voice.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not about diversity and inclusion and all this stuff that has become such a triggering topic for people.
Yeah.
It's about making the world look like the world around us.
Yeah.
And when you walk down the street, unless you live in some tiny, tiny town, like, you got some type of diversity,
Right.
whether it's women,
Right.
minorities, whatever. Not minorities, because we ain't a minority anymore.
Right.
Minorities are the majority in this country, which is why ICE is so active. But anyway.
Right. Great turn. Exactly.
But yeah, I think I'll take that hope and I will receive that, because you're right. We always do survive, and we always do thrive. We always find a way.
Yeah, and it's always about that bottom line. And
Yeah.
when they know, listen, that's why they do it with the Super Bowl.
Yep.
If you think about that halftime show.
In Living Color is the only reason we have that halftime show
Listen.
like that. Yeah.
And so it's the constant, like, we fill in those gaps. And
Yeah.
as much as they want to deny us, they know they can't.
They can't.
They
They
cannot.
can't. The proof is in the pudding.
So what is the pep talk that Robin gives herself when she is selling these shows and
Yeah.
they're not? What is the internal dialogue that you're having with yourself?
They need my voice. And they need the voice of whoever I'm working with, whoever I want to bring to the table. These voices need to be heard. I mean, I have felt that on every project. And, you know, again, Larry Wilmore, Jon Stewart, Chris Rock, Queen Latifah, like, all of them taught me that your voice is your key to getting into every door, you know? So I think that's always been really critical, knowing that my voice is important, unique, and has a place.
Gotcha.
Even if the people don't see it at the time, you know, I'm gonna make somebody see it.
Okay.
But I'm pretty good at pitching.
Okay.
And I'm also—
What is the art to a good pitch?
The art to a good pitch is making them feel like they'll lose out if they don't buy whatever
Gotcha.
you're selling. And it's not a hard sell. It's coming in with a great, well thought out project. Every pitch I leave, whether I sell it or not, they go, "Well, you've thought of everything." Yeah, I did.
When you say you thought of everything, what is
Budget,
that?
casting, writers, locations, you know, marketing, literally everything. I've thought it through for 10 seasons. I already know, because you're going to, they don't want to invest their money in someone who can't turn the whole product around.
Gotcha.
It's one thing to have a great idea, but if you can't write it, what are we doing?
Right.
It's one thing to write a great project, but if you can't cast it, what are we doing?
Right.
It's one thing to cast a great project, but if you can't promote it right, what are we doing? And they have great teams that do that, but you've got to be that voice at the top
That sort of makes it easy for them, because they don't see it at all.
Well, they're not the creatives.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a producer, I've been lucky to work with some really great, you know, studio executives who have been incredibly creative, but a lot of them will tell you, that's not my job, that's your job. You know, so you've got to be that voice to say, here's how the audience is going to receive this, and here's what's going to happen. Because a lot of times too, especially in the marketing phase, that's where a lot of shows die.
Yeah.
Great shows die because they had bad marketing.
Yeah.
So, or just not enough. You know, people are like, I never even heard of this show. What is this? You know? So now you've got to work with a place that really understands social media, that really understands how to use podcasts like this and other platforms where you really just get to be authentic. Because that is one thing the audience is not going to play with. If you're being fake and weird and too performative, this audience is not going to, they don't like that. I don't.
Me and Bevy Smith have just been talking about
Yes,
this.
the queen.
People do not want to see your performative actions anymore.
No.
They want to see you be real. So.
They do.
Yeah.
That's all they want to see. And then they want to see you, when you play the characters and stuff, it's great. But like, your persona, who you are, can't be super media derived. Like, I think that's why I love Kelly Rowland so much, because she is who she is.
Right.
Like, and it's why when we get glimpses of, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Viola Davis, she's somebody, I just watched her NAACP speech, and I was just, she just blows me away every time. It's why Whoopi, you know, go back to Whoopi. Whoopi ain't never been nothing but herself.
Exactly. From
Period.
the natural hair to the outfits, everything.
Everything.
Who she is.
Is who she is, and yet has transformed into these incredible characters. So I think she's somebody who learned how to play that. I don't want to say play that game, because I don't think there's anything fake or false about her. But she has always been unapologetic about who she is, whether it got her in trouble or not.
True.
And so I think this audience now knows that and appreciates that. And especially in an audience of so many influencers and that kind of thing, I think the influencers that do best are the people that are really just kind of being an extension of who they are.
Yeah.
But it's also why a lot of them don't translate to scripted.
Yep.
Because they're like, oh, I don't know how to act. I make money being myself. And I'm
Right.
like, well, honestly, you're going to make more money being yourself. So keep doing
right,
that.
Exactly. Don't come over here.
Yeah, they don't realize TV don't pay that great
Right,
compared to the millions they making on YouTube.
Listen, people do not believe that. But
They
I tell
don't.
people always be like, oh, you work at The View? I'd be like, baby, you want to see this pay stub? It would tell you differently. But anyway, I have 2 more questions, and then
That's it?
And then 2 more questions.
Okay, all right.
So, okay, out of all the failed pilots that you've done,
Oh, yeah.
can you tell me one that you just knew was gonna be it, and like who was in it, and what
Yes.
the theme of it was?
There was one about it was a road trip mystery. Who was in it? Oh my God. I can't even remember who was in it. No, there were some very famous people in it. This is where my perimenopause brain just goes blank.
It's okay.
I'm trying to think.
It's fine.
I can't remember. This was so many years ago. You'll
But
have
do
to
you
cut
remember
it. It's
at
not
least
even...
what the theme of it
Yeah,
was?
so there was a road trip pilot. I think it was for ABC. And it was like 6 friends go on a road trip. Somebody dies, but it was a comedy.
Okay.
Somebody dies, and we have to like hunt them down through all these like weird towns, and crazy stuff was happening in each of the towns. And it was just very fantasy comedy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's no wonder they didn't pick it up. Even me describing it sounds stupid, but
I'm
just
sitting here,
fun.
I'm like,
It was just
and you
fun.
thought this was gonna go?
no, obviously it was a bad idea, but it wasn't my idea,
Gotcha,
so I
so
can't
it
take
didn't-
credit. I was just
exactly.
acting in it,
Exactly.
but yeah, no.
Okay.
No, lots of comedians who kind of came and went. And I guess I don't want to throw anybody under the bus too, because I don't want to say like, oh, their pilot failed, because I think there's a stigma around
No,
that.
right.
But there's a lot of shows that even that I've been a producer on.
I'll say one, and you won't say it. I'll say it only because they turned out to be an amazing person. But I remember when I first moved to LA,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart was doing The Big House.
Oh, he's done a bunch of pilots actually.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked that show. I remember seeing, I think I went to a taping. I don't remember. But Kevin Hart had like 6 pilots
Oh, wow.
that didn't go. He
See,
had
I
like
didn't even know
so
that.
many. No, it was only a matter of time because he
Yeah.
was such a star.
Yeah.
Even when people didn't quite, he's fresh from the East
Philly,
Coast, from
yeah.
Philly. Yeah, but no, he was always such a star. He was so great.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And so my last question, and I always ask everyone that comes to the show this
Yes.
question, what does Robin Thede find beauty in?
Oh, wow. Purpose. I think it's so beautiful when you see people living in their purpose. When you talk about Quinta, when you talk about Issa, when you talk about Lena, when you talk about Justin Simeon, I think about creators that I've come up with. All my ladies from Sketch Show, Gabrielle, Ashley, Lacey, Sky, Angel, Tamara Jade, all these girls that came with us even up until the last season. I love seeing people who have pinpointed their talent and found a way to create their purpose and make money from it, right? Because if you can't make money, I don't know what we're doing. But just seeing people live in their purpose, I think it's so beautiful. And seeing people be comfortable in their skin, and this is going to be so random, but the fact that Pam Anderson is on television with them no brows. And Whoopi too, right? But she never had any brows.
Right.
But Pam with her tattooed thin line and no makeup and freckles, it doesn't feel like a gimmick to me. It feels really beautiful.
Yeah.
And it feels like people are actually seeing her for the first time.
Yeah.
I remember when Alicia Keys was like, I'm not wearing makeup. I was like, I feel like she still had makeup on, but
She did.
But it was a
But it's
very
the no makeup
natural. It was the no
it's
makeup look,
makeup.
and
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that did wonders. Because I remember her being on a Proactive commercial, struggling with her skin,
Yeah.
and baby, I had cystic acne so bad back then. So
Right.
she was a role model for
Right,
me.
right.
But she was also just so refreshing. She was just so much herself, is so much herself. Has always been lovely. But yeah, I think that's beauty. Beauty is just, whether you got a full face of makeup on, because we love a beat now, don't
That we do.
But I think living in your purpose, being that your authentic self, it makes me so sad when I see women who are trying to perform for others.
Yeah.
Whether it be for the camera, for men, for their family, for their mothers, for their fathers.
That's real talk.
For their job.
Yeah.
You know, because it is a luxury and a privilege to walk in a room authentically as ourselves as Black people.
So true.
But it's a privilege we need to take.
Yep.
We need to take it.
Yep.
And that don't mean, saying everything we think.
Listen.
But it does mean embracing who we are and not apologizing for it. I think that's so beautiful.
I do too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Robin.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you for finally doing it. I tell everybody, people don't really know what goes into trying to coordinate these interviews. And Robin,
We stuck with it.
We did. I've only stalked her for like 4 or 5 years.
That's fine. That's all.
That's all. Just like 4 or 5 years.
But also, you have to know how much of a big fan, and I've told you this before, but
Yes.
I've been a fan of yours for a long time. I have.
Really?
No, you
I
don't
was waiting for you to say.
We watch you. We watched you. We watch your work. We watch your influence. Like, the girls know. The girls know.
I wasn't expecting it.
And listen, you're a young spring chicken. You are just a baby, but you've also been doing this.
Baby, I'm not
Okay.
not that much of a spring.
Well, no, I
or
just
chicken.
say that because,
You make
Black
me
don't
feel
crack.
better, right.
But we see the work.
Thank you.
We see the work. And like I told you, so much of what I do that brings me joy is behind the scenes. So when I get to come to the View and I see you and I get to say, hey, I see you.
Yeah.
That's like, it's just the ultimate for me because I'm a fan of you like I am of Whoopi, like I am of Michelle Obama. Like really, really, because I know how hard it is to make it. I know how hard it is to break through.
Yes.
I know how hard it is to keep a job. And I know what you are up against.
Yeah.
And I know how little they do try to pay you. Not at the View, no shade to the View, but
No
I'm just
shade.
saying, like, the industry. Wait,
Where's my camera? Where's my camera? Okay.
I'm just trying to keep your job. Okay?
Listen, I ain't said nothing.
But no, I want to give you your flowers too. These are for you. I didn't bring them.
Thank
you. But I love you. And I wouldn't
Thank
have
you.
come if
Thank
I
you.
didn't believe in everything you're doing. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Man, you're gonna make me cry. That's probably gonna stick with me all day.
Good.
Really.
Good. Take it with you. Let
I
it
will.
bathe you like a warm blanket.
God got a special hand on you.
He does.
He does.
And
You have an anointing for encouraging people.
thank you.
I mean, clearly, because the people, this goes back to the people that spawn from you. You have a way of nurturing.
They do call me Mama Bear.
I was gonna say, are you like the Oprah that's? I'm
not
Look,
Oprah.
Are you Oprah where I can't have kids of my own because I'm too busy nurturing the world?
No, I am not opening a school in Africa. No, but I can be a tough boss, but I'm also Mama Bear. Like if anyone is having a problem, I will swoop in immediately and
Right.
grab them and be like, "Well, who's hurting you? I will
Right.
fix it." Like I just know what it takes.
Right.
And I've seen people get knocked down so many times. And again, it's the privilege of being able to walk in that room and say, "Oh, I'm the boss."
Yeah.
So guess what? I get to fix it.
Yeah.
Oh, what a privilege.
What a privilege.
So yeah. But yeah, I just know what it takes. And a lot of people don't. So you need to hear that.
I did need to hear it. I really did. Thank you, Robin. Do you want to tell them where they can find you? Anything
No, they
you
can
need
find
them
me
to
on
support?
social or
They know
whatever,
where-
and then I'll be in the movies.
Listen,
I got a movie coming out with I can't say, it's a surprise. I got a movie coming out in May. It's a surprise.
You know
But
what
it's
you
with
just
some
did?
amazing
You lifted
people.
us up
I know.
to let us down.
I just realized I can't say because it's a surprise.
It's okay.
But I have more stuff coming out.
Okay. At least when can we expect this movie?
May.
Okay.
There's a new big movie in May. You won't be able to miss it. And I also have some TV appearances coming up this year. Back on Celebrity Jeopardy All-Stars Tournament. I'm doing a lot of stuff.
They love you over there,
They
really.
do. They do.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you all for watching. Please make sure to click like and subscribe. And
You better
definitely
like and subscribe.
come to New York and watch Bigfoot the musical. Support her production and producing stuff and all the good things. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.